Hello everyone, welcome to LetsDevOps. I am Sumit and today we are going to discuss about Azure Bicep resource dependency. So in this tutorial, first we'll understand what is a resource dependency. Second, we'll understand what are the different type of resource dependency and how to use them. So let's start. Now let's understand the resource dependency in a Bicep file. So when we create a Bicep file, we declare multiple resources to be created, right? And each resources can be dependent or can be independent. As for example, when I create a web app, I need to make sure that app service plan is created before the web app, right? So that is called as a dependency, resource dependency. Now let's understand why resource dependency is required. So with the help of resource dependency, Azure Resource Manager evaluates the dependency between the resources and deploy them in their dependent order. So when the resources are not dependent on each other, Azure Resource Manager deploy them in a parallel. But if it has a dependency, it will deploy in a sequence, right? So as for example, assume that if I have created a Bicep file where I have declared the storage account and then the web app. So storage account and web app are independent on each other, right? So the Azure Resource Manager will create them in a parallel. But assume that if I have to create web app and then the app service plan, then I need to define the dependency, right? Because first app service plan needs to be created and then second the web app, right? Now let's discuss the different types of dependency. So there are two types of dependency in Azure Bicep. One is implicit, the second one is explicit. So implicit dependency creates automatically when one resource declaration reference another resource. As for example, if you take for a web app, assume that if I have to create a web app where I define the name, location, and under the property I define the reference ID of the app service plan. So this dependency we call it as implicit because it will automatically understand, since it is referring to the app service plan, the app service plan needs to be created first and then the web app will create. So that's called as an implicit dependency. Now coming to the explicit dependency. An explicit dependency is declared with the depends on the property, and this property accepts an array of access resource identifiers. Let's take an example. Assume that I have to create a two resource. One is storage account and the second is a web app. Since these two resources are independent on each other, but in the web app you want to also enable the application inside, and that requires the storage account. It means that before creating the web app, you need to make sure that storage account is created. So in this case, we need to define the explicit dependency in web app, and that we can do with the help of depends on. Okay. So we have options to visualize the dependency. So we have in the Visual Studio Code, we have options to visualize all the dependencies. So here, if you notice, I have created a web app which has a dependency on app service plan that is defined as a implicit, and for a storage account I have explicitly defining the dependency. Okay, so that's all for this. Let's start with the demo. Now let's create a Bicep file which will have the implicit dependency. So for that, what I'll do, I'll create a new file. Maybe I'll just give implicit depend example.bicep. So here what I'll do, I'll first try to declare the web app, and as we know that before creating a web app you should have app service plan. So first I will declare the app service plan, demo ASP, and then here the server forms, okay, and then equal to, here I need to give the name ASP demo, maybe 003. I need to put in a port, and then so here if you mouse over, you will also see the property that we need to define, right? Next is the location. Maybe we parameterize the location. Okay, so param location string and then equal to maybe it is US and let's use that here. Okay, once this is done, let's declare the resource demo web app, and then the website. Okay, and then equal to. So here we need to provide the name again, and then the name is maybe SRS demo test, and then I will provide the location. So again, the location is location, and then the property where I need to define the reference of this web app, the app service plan, and that is call it as a implicit. It means that when you refer that server form ID, then demo ASP dot ID. So this is sorry, maybe it's wrong. Yeah, so this is we are referring in the web app the app service plan. It means that this is called as a implicit. So the Bicep will automatically understand that it has a dependency of app service plan, so it will first create the app service plan and then it will create the web app. So let's run it and then see. Maybe you'll have anything. Okay, so here I need to give it, so it is implicit Bicep. Let it run. Now the execution got succeeded. So let's go to the Azure portal and see here. It created the app service plan and then it created the apps. Okay, so if you notice here, okay, let me try to check the operation details. So it's created at 2:42 AM, the app service plan, and then oh, it is only the seconds, 2:42 and 6. So okay, so 2:42 6 AM for the app service plan. It means it first created the app service plan and then it created a web app. Okay, so that's all for the implicit. Let's try to create for explicit. So now we looked at the implicit, so let's also try to define the explicit. So first I'll try to just copy paste this code, and then I'll add the snippet for the storage account, where we will also try to define the explicit dependency. So let me add the source code for storage account. So let me try to give this st demo 003 test1, and then maybe the location is this location, and the SQ name, standard LS, and okay. So for explicit dependency, we need to declare here as a depends on, and here we need to define as an array, right? So since it is a say demo, maybe then I need to define it here. Okay, now let's run it and see how it goes. Or maybe I'll just add one here, maybe one here, so that it should be unique, right? And then run it. So if you notice here, first we define the storage account, then the ASP, and then the web app, and here we're declaring both of them, right? So okay, so there is some error. Okay, so it's saying that's already taken, so maybe we need to give the XYZ. So let's see. This is just I'm giving for example. You can maybe create the random the keyword also, so that your storage account will also be unique. Let's go to the here and then maybe try to see something on the resource group. Okay, so currently it is running. Okay, So also meanwhile it is running, let's also try to see we can also visualize the dependency. So if I click on here, I'll be able to see the visualization of the dependency. Okay, so here if you notice, we are creating the web app, demo web app, and it has a dependency with the service app service plan and the storage account. So with the app service plan, it has the implicit dependency, and for the storage account we have explicit dependency. Okay, so let's wait for it to be executed. And I can close this now. Okay, so now if you notice here, first it created the storage account, now it is creating the app service plan. So it is running in a sequence. Okay, so storage account created, now it will create app service plan, and then after that it will pick the web app. So that's all about the dependency. So in this tutorial, we learned the resource dependency in Azure Bicep, why we need a resource dependency, what are the different types of resource dependency, that is explicit and implicit. Further, we also learned how we can create that dependency in Azure Bicep file. So thanks all for this demo. If you have any question or concern, you can write in the comment box, and I have attached the blog link and the GitHub code in a video description. So thanks all for the watching. If you like this video, kindly subscribe to my channel. Have a good day. Bye bye.